My guest today, a lawyer, a banker, well-traveled, and indeed the first female president of the Enugu Association in the United States of America. Join me now as I welcome all the way from Las Vegas, where the 2015 Enugu Association National Convention just held, the president of that association, Ifesinachi Ugwuonye. You're welcome to the show. How long have you been in the United States?
In fact, I've been in the United States since 1997.
What was your background before leaving Nigeria?
I left Nigeria right after university. In fact, the same month that I graduated from the University of Port Harcourt. But when I left Nigeria, I didn't go straight to the United States. I went to pursue a master's degree in France. And after graduation from my studies in France, I came to the United States. And my first actual work was in the United States with the World Bank, Washington, D.C. at the time. In Nigeria, I studied foreign languages and literature at the University of Port Harcourt. And but that was my first degree, bachelor's degree. And moving on to France, I studied international commerce and language translation and have a master's degree in it before coming to the United States. Since then, of course, I've been to many other schools and acquired many other degrees.
At the moment, what would you consider your primary area of practice?
At the moment, my primary area of practice is banking, mortgage banking. And mortgages, as you know, in the United States, with the big dream of owning a home, without a mortgage, nobody will practically purchase a home. It's not like in Nigeria where you buy things cash. Here you need a credit. And that's where mortgage industry, mortgage banks play major roles in the section or sector of the home ownership.
Interesting. Now, given your experience as a mortgage banker in the United States, and considering that you're coming from Nigeria, where you practically need to have all the cash before you're able to own your own home, if you have the opportunity of coming back home to play advisory role, what would you be saying to the government and indeed practitioners to ensure that we have a well-structured mortgage system that ensures that everyone is able to access a comfortable or a decent home?
Well, that's an interesting question because Nigeria, unlike the United States, is quite a different kind of economy. America basically is a credit nation where everything you do depends on your credit. And when they say credit, it's actually your credibility. The things that you have done in the past and what you continue to do in the present that will determine your eligibility, your ability to be trusted, or your ability to borrow from any financial institution. If you show good character in terms of repaying your past debts, you have greater chances of getting approved for larger loans, such as an amount needed for homes. We don't have that system in Nigeria, and I really think that in order to reach the masses, and especially the people in need of these homes, the government should tap into that arena where they can create some sort of project, housing project for the citizens of different states to be able to purchase homes on credit and find their own way, what works for them, yes, in terms of paying back those loans. You still have the house as collateral. It's not like they took the money and they disappear. You don't give them cash, you place it on their house, and they can pay back gradually, depending on their ability to pay. Of course, we know that all fingers are not equal. Some are always going to be richer than others and have more resources than others, but you can tailor a program in such a way that everybody, irrespective of class differences, will still be able to get something. A home, housing is one of the most fundamental needs of anybody and any country, any state.
Wonderful. Like you rightly said, the United States economy is totally different from Nigeria's economy. And that's why I'm interested in knowing, as a banker and someone who has knowledge about the economy, how do you think Nigeria's economy should be structured to encourage not just affordable but accessible mortgage for everyone?
Well, I think Nigeria is already well placed to achieve these things. It's not as difficult as sometimes you hear. I know they have this national identification system, meaning that you can always trace a person. And in fact, mortgage is not tied to the person per se, it's tied to the house. Since the house is at a fixed location, this house is the thing that secures the loan. Where if for any reason the borrower doesn't pay back, you really are not at a loss. You can take back the house and sell to somebody else who will now continue making the payment until such a time they have completely paid and they can own their houses. In Nigeria, it is true that the government is involved in a lot of things more than the United States. The banks are controlled by the government mostly. Quite unfortunate, but this is what we have. This is what is obtainable today. For that reason, the government should extend these resources to the people who need them, the civil servants. You have the government controls their employment. What they can do is start a structure whereby monthly from their salaries, those amounts that they would have used in paying the mortgages would be deducted before their net income is given to them. That will help these people to without even realizing it, be paying towards a home that they will eventually own outright without any mortgage. Or the government can help the banks in funding mortgages or encouraging them to do so without excessive policies, excessive rules and regulations that might generally hinder their ability to lend to the ordinary man. If these private banks are also held accountable so that they don't go out abusing the trust that is placed on them, by taking advantage of the ordinary man, whereby they will sell one house to multiple people, we know that's something that could happen, and these are some of the things that might be behind the seemingly difficult situation in mortgage banking in Nigeria.
Chats with a professional. Oh, 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 oh. A chats with a professional. When smiles is so good. A chats with a professional. Oh, 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 oh. A chats with a professional. When smiles is so good.
Do you think that Baba Obasanjo could be on the street while these Boko Haram people are doing what they are doing?
The objective of the private organization is slightly different from...
Nigeria is the most important country
of education, the collapse of culture in Nigeria. Even with cheating, we can't pass. We've not done enough. There's still more. Join us.
And you'll never regret that you did.
Now, can we digress a little? How did you get involved with the Enugu Association in the US such that you eventually became the first female president?
Well, how did I become involved? I'm from Enugu State. That is the first and foremost reason why I'm a member of Enugu USA. But apart from that, it's also my belief, my ideologies. I believe that wherever you find yourself today wasn't really where you started. You think back to the roots. You know, I believe in giving back to the society, especially the community where you came out of. And Nigeria, especially some of the eastern states where Enugu State is located, having so much a poverty level, there is generally, in my own case, that desire to give back, to help in whatever way. And these associations really provide the avenue to do that. And believing in what I believe, I got involved in the association since its inception, since 1998, and have stayed focused, steady with my what I think we should be doing, like the medical mission, which is geared towards helping out the poor people, especially in the rural areas of the state. And just like everything else, one step at a time, gradually but steadily, we got to where we are. And yes, I am actually the first female elected president of the association. And we thought it was about time to see where men really didn't achieve what they planned to do. Let's see if changing hands will get us to that place. But in all, it's still the same goal. We're all looking towards making things better, making life better. Because personally, I believe that no matter how much you have achieved, if your neighbor is still suffering, I don't think you have achieved enough. I have this saying that we're not doing well until all of us are doing well. So that's the thing that guides my desire to do more for especially the less privileged.
How would you describe your experience so far being the first female president in an association that over the years has had that position occupied by the menfolk? Have you had challenges, towards achieving your goals as the president of the association?
Well, just the fact that nothing good comes easily. We're not expecting it to be a milk and honey kind of regime. There are challenges, but those challenges were the main reason why I wanted to come, why I veered, campaigned, and eventually won the position to become president. Of course, you have oppositions, which is also healthy in its own way, because it challenges you to do even more than you have planned to do. As a woman among men from a cultural background, it's not an easy thing. But again, I never expected it to be easy. I never expected it to be any less difficult than it is. But those difficulties, as I said earlier, I see them as a propeller to achieve that level of success. You might have read or seen about Enugu USA, especially during the campaign. There must be something there. If it's not that worth it, people wouldn't waste their time talking about it or even talking about this president. So we're working. We're getting better and better. In fact, within the 1 year, as everybody else will testify, we have achieved tremendous things, but we also set high goals and worked very hard to achieve them. So I'm satisfied as to what we are doing, and I have a clear vision of where we are going.
What would be your general advice to the sitting government of both your home state, Enugu, and of course the government at the center, as to how best you think policies could be structured to the benefit of everyone in furtherance of good governance, not just in Nigeria but on the continent of Africa?
Well, what I would say is that no one person knows it all. It doesn't matter how educated, it doesn't matter how advanced in experience, it doesn't matter how old you are. You never know it all. And there is no idea that is a useless idea. Always consult with the people, find out what they really want. Deal with the ordinary man so that you have a first-hand experience. I know that it's not easy to govern, it's not easy to lead, not even a little group, not to talk of a whole state or a whole nation like Nigeria. But sometimes the advisors might not really be giving advices that are beneficial to the people. They might just be self-serving kind of advice, whereby year in, year out, nothing seems to be changing for the better. So something is wrong somewhere. Somebody has to look back and say, how, if you're doing the same thing over and over again, you cannot expect different results. If you repetition, the activity or the actions will yield the same result. That is how it is. If schools are not working, there is this thing that is making it not to work. If workers are not being paid, there is something that is making that happen. Something has to change. I know change is difficult, but it's something that everybody that wants to progress has to embrace and get used to. I think that the government, when we say government, we think of individuals, but it should not be. It doesn't matter who is in that seat. If the focus is the same citizen, then there shouldn't be this person is a bad person or a good person, because they should focus outside of themselves, focus on that which they are elected to do, which is to work for the people. They should see themselves as servants of the people, and knowing that some people placed some trust on them to put them there, and there is no way they can move forward without finding out what these people actually need.
Thank you so very much, Ifesinachi, for sparing your time and sharing your thoughts with us on the show today, as we congratulate you on your achievements as the first female president of the Enugu Association in the US.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.